Something's not right in the Red Bull camp, and it's not just a bad race weekend. Max Verstappen, the man who once looked inseparable from the team's success, is now giving off signs that he's already halfway out the door, while his driving is still sharp on track. Behind the scenes, there's a different energy around him. Some say he's distant, others say he's just going through the motions. But one thing is becoming clearer with each passing race. Max may be preparing to move on. After a disappointing outing in Austria, where Red Bull failed to score and looked lost in their own backyard, the whispers turned into murmurs, and the murmurs are getting louder. People close to the paddock believe this isn't about a single bad weekend. This is about something deeper, something that's been building for months. Max is no longer pushing the team like before. He's not the same determined leader. There's a coldness now, a sense that he's fulfilling obligations, not chasing history. And then there's the question everyone is quietly asking: has he already decided to leave? Insiders suggest that his confidence in the team has faded. The chemistry that once fueled victories has gone flat. The performance drop isn't just mechanical, it's emotional too. The car doesn't feel right, the upgrades haven't delivered, and most importantly, the man who helped shape the technical backbone of the team, Adrian Newey, is no longer there. Since Newey's departure, the team's sharp edge seems to have dulled. Their once bulletproof car now struggles to keep up with rivals. The structure that made Red Bull dominant is beginning to look shaky. Verstappen knows how to read long-term patterns, and right now, the graph is pointing in the wrong direction. It's not just about this season, it's about where things are headed in the next few years. And Max, always a thinker, might already be planning his next move. For Verstappen, the RB21 is no longer the car that once crushed its competition. In his eyes, it's lost its edge. Teams like McLaren and Ferrari have stepped up their game, and now even Mercedes is catching up. That kind of shift doesn't sit well with someone who's built his legacy on staying ahead. He's not used to playing catch-up. He's used to leading from the front. And now that Red Bull seems to be slipping backwards, Max is paying close attention, and not in a hopeful way. People inside the garage say the mood has changed. What was once a confident and sharp operation now feels uncertain. Conversations are shorter, smiles are rare. The energy is heavy. Max, known for being blunt but focused, now seems distant. He's still professional, still doing the job. There's a sense he's already accepted the title race is out of reach. And in Formula One, once that belief fades, everything else follows. It's not that he's angry, it's more like he's detached. Some describe it as calm, others say it's resignation. Whatever it is, the signs are adding up. Austria wasn't just a bad day at the office. It felt like the moment things shifted for good. A track where Red Bull once dominated turned into a reminder of how far they've fallen. And for Max, it felt more like a farewell than a fight. But make no mistake, this isn't about bad chemistry with teammates or tension with management. The root problem is under the hood. Since Adrian Newey walked away, Red Bull hasn't looked the same. The man who brought vision, precision, and consistency is gone, and now, what's left feels unsure. The upgrades don't seem connected. The progress feels random. The balance in the car, once razor sharp, now feels off. Max knows what a championship car feels like, and this isn't it. He's always been calculated. He doesn't make rash moves. If he's thinking about leaving, it's because he sees a pattern and the future it points to doesn't involve more titles with Red Bull. That's why his expressions are harder to read now. That's why people say he's already mentally elsewhere. And while the team tries to put on a brave face, even they know this could be slipping beyond their control. Meanwhile, across the paddock, Mercedes is keeping things quiet, but don't mistake their silence for inaction. Every move seems carefully thought out. Every word from Toto Wolff carries weight. He's no stranger to high-stakes decisions, and this one could be his boldest yet. For all the talk surrounding Max's possible exit, Wolff's interest is more than a passing thought. It's a long-standing admiration. Max Verstappen has always had the kind of raw ability that teams build their futures around. Mercedes knows that. And with Lewis Hamilton now in Ferrari red, the timing couldn't be more convenient. Mercedes has the money, they have the infrastructure. What they need is the spark. And Max might just be that dot, of course. It's not just about numbers and lap times. There's something deeper, something personal. Max's father, Jos Verstappen, has always had a strong rapport with Wolff. Their relationship isn't the usual polite handshake type. There's familiarity, trust, and shared understanding. And in Formula One, that can be more valuable than any contract clause. Wolff knows what bringing in Max could mean. It would reshape the team overnight. But pairing him with George Russell isn't a straightforward decision. These are two aggressive top-level racers. Each wants to be the number one. And that sort of dynamic can either push a team to greatness or split it in two. Wolff has seen it before, most famously with Hamilton and Rosberg. That rivalry left battle scars that still get talked about in Brackley, yet he's hinted that no pairing could ever be as volatile as that one. Maybe he believes this new duo would be different, or maybe he just knows it's a risk worth taking because the prize could outweigh the gamble. Right now, Mercedes can't afford to be cautious. With McLaren closing the gap and Ferrari roaring back to life, standing still means falling behind. Bringing Verstappen in isn't just a statement, it's a counterpunch, a way to stay in the title conversation for years to come. They're not just chasing talent, they're fighting for survival at the top. Over at Red Bull, the response hasn't been passive either. If Verstappen's leaving, they're not planning to go quietly. In fact, word from insiders suggests Christian Horner is eyeing none other than George Russell. It's a move that feels as much like strategy as it does revenge, a possible driver switch that turns this into more than just a transfer saga. It becomes a game of power, reputation, and control. Approaching Russell wouldn't just fill the potential Verstappen-shaped hole, it would also throw Mercedes into disarray. If Red Bull could tempt Russell away, it'd be a message that they're still a top destination, even with their champion walking out. Nothing's final yet, of course, but sources say early talks have begun, and when conversations like these happen, there's almost always a lawyer nearby, reading the fine print on release clauses. If Max does leave, Red Bull faces a serious challenge. Who takes that seat? They could look inward toward Yuki Tsunoda or rookie Isaac Hadjar, but that's not a small step. That's tossing someone into one of the most demanding roles in all of motorsport. Tsunoda has moments of brilliance but struggles with consistency. The team has stood by him, but patience isn't unlimited. If Hadjar is the future, the question is whether the future is arriving too soon. The real problem is that drivers like Verstappen aren't just rare, they're irreplaceable. You can't pick up someone from the grid and expect the same icy precision, the same race management, the same refusal to settle for second. Red Bull knows that. They know that letting Max go might mean more than losing points. It might mean losing a period of dominance they worked years to build. And this isn't just about next season. It's about identity. Red Bull without Verstappen will be forced to rewrite its own story. They've built an empire around him, and now they're scrambling to find someone who can lead the next chapter. But what if no one can? Now, the question that's circling the paddock like wildfire: can Max Verstappen actually walk away from a contract that's supposed to keep him at Red Bull until 2028? On the surface it looks watertight, but behind the scenes, the fine print tells a different story. Most top-tier contracts in Formula One come with performance clauses. These aren't just fancy legal lines, they're safety nets, built specifically for scenarios where a team starts slipping. And Red Bull is slipping. They've dropped to fourth in the constructors' standings. Verstappen, who once seemed untouchable at the top, now finds himself off the pace in the Drivers' Championship. That combination of results might be enough to activate those clauses effectively, giving him an exit route without a legal showdown or contract dispute. It's not about drama in courtrooms. It's about performance on track. If Red Bull can't keep up, Verstappen has every right to go searching for a team that can. And that ticking clock heading into the summer break, that's not just a pause in the calendar, it's a decision point, a window of time where deals are made, options are weighed, and futures are decided. While Max weighs his next move, there's another quiet storm brewing inside Red Bull's feeder system. The junior team, known for developing talent fast and ruthlessly, is already shifting its pieces. Isaac Hadjar is being watched closely. He's young, sharp, and composed under pressure. Compared to Tsunoda, who still struggles to balance aggression, with Contra, Hadjar offers a different kind of potential, the kind that Red Bull might just need, especially if they lose their top name. But all of this, the whispers, the contract details, the rising juniors, it all leads to one truth. Verstappen is now holding all the leverage. Red Bull's dominance may have been a team effort, but the face of that effort has always been him. If he chooses to leave, it won't just reshape the 2025 grid, it might alter the balance of power in Formula One for years to come. While the world stays fixated on the headlines Red Bull versus Mercedes, Verstappen's silence, Toto Wolff's subtle moves, the real battle has quietly shifted elsewhere. The championship fight that has already moved on. It's no longer about Max. He said it himself. His focus is somewhere else, and so is the title. Now, all eyes are on the papaya cars. McLaren has taken center stage. Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris have gone from promising talents to real contenders. One stays calm under pressure, always consistent. The other thrives under the spotlight, adored by fans and fearless behind the wheel. Together they've turned the 2025 season into something McLaren hasn't seen in years, a civil war at the front of the grid, and so far, it's Piastri who's edging ahead, slowly but surely. As for Verstappen, the moment that hit hardest came not at some random street circuit, but at home in Spielberg. Red Bull's home turf, once a symbol of strength, now feels like a ghost town. No points, no answers, not even a hint of the dominance they once carried there. For a driver like Max, that's not just a bad race, that's a turning point. Red Bull's decline isn't loud. It's quiet, subtle, a fading echo of what they once were. It's not an explosion, it's a slow collapse. One missed upgrade, one wrong decision, one key figure gone. And Max, mentally, he's already made his move. His body may still be in the Red Bull garage, but his eyes are somewhere else. Toto Wolff is watching, waiting. George Russell can feel the pressure. And in the distance, even Sebastian Vettel is being whispered about again. Because in Formula One, when the chessboard starts shifting, everyone looks for their opening. The champagne's no longer flowing at Milton Keynes, the trophies are starting to gather dust. What lies ahead isn't celebration, it's a rebuild. And most likely, it'll begin without the driver who once carried the team on his back. So now, the biggest question isn't whether Max Verstappen will leave. It's whether Red Bull can survive his absence. What do you think? Has Max already made his decision? And if he walks, is Mercedes truly the better home for him? Or can Red Bull find a way back before it's too late? Let us know your take in the comments. Thanks for sticking with us. Until next time.